Hey guys, welcome back to the Nazi Zombie storyline. Yeah, guys, it's been a while since I recorded some of this. Shit, I think it's been over a year since the last time I did one, which we did Nocturne Toten. And then from then on, I didn't upload. I just stopped. I remember I had Verruckt recorded and I never uploaded it. But here it is, guys. Verruckt Nazi Zombie storyline. Now, I know it might be a little dark, but that's not what you guys care about. You care about the storyline of the amazing game mode known as Zombies. Um, So yeah, guys, we have made it to Verruckt, and Verruckt is a very interesting map. It is my favorite out of all the maps. Yes, you didn't pay the electric bill. But this is my favorite out of all the maps. My favorite zombie map. Kind of like how GameVids likes it. It's the only map that separates you. You kind of got to work together, turn on the power. But enough of that. Straight to the storyline. So, guys, after the events of Nocturne Toten, what's it called? If you guys know what the OSS is, the OSS was a what's it called? Secret organization during World War II, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. I probably am, but the OSS was getting in the zombie storyline, the OSS was getting wind and finding out of what the Group 935 was doing to give Group 935 was highly paid by the Nazis to give them wonder weapons like the ray gun, the Wunderwaffe DG2, the Thunder gun, so they could win the war against the Americans and the Russians, so they can achieve world domination. Um, so what's it called? They were testing zombies in Darice, as we know. But we'll get to that in Darice, which is part 4. But for in Verruckt, this is where they took most of the patients, as in the zombies. They took them to Verruckt. It was an insane asylum. Dr. Richtofen actually used to work in Verruckt. Proof of that is if you go prone right here, there's a book. It says Edward Richtofen, and it's most likely a book about genetic health or something along the lines of that, or how something along the lines of Richtofen stuff. Richtofen stuff. Um, Yeah, but so the OSS was realizing that they were doing zombie tests in Verruckt, and so they decided to send in a spy to find out what they were doing here. That spy was Peter McCain, and he is going to be a big part of the zombie storyline. Well, for the World at War section of it. But Peter McCain was sent into Verruckt to gather information. But when he was there, it was already too late, and the place was overrun by zombies. The World at War version, well, in this version too, they come up out of their graves and stuff because apparently the people that worked at Verruckt tried to bury them, but they realized they couldn't. Um, so after all this was going down, um, the OSS sent in an extraction team to extract Peter McCain from Verruckt. They sent in 4 Americans. Um, one was our favorite, Tank Dempsey. The other ones I don't remember. Um, and from the not, I want to correct something on Nocturne Toten. I don't think Harvey Ena was in Nocturne Toten during those events. I do think Tank Dempsey was there. Um, because Nocturne Toten, a lot of people say that it doesn't have anything to do with the storyline. I think it does, but that's just my opinion, and who cares about my opinion? But yeah, so Harvey Eno, I don't think was ever in Nocturne Toten. Just want to get it out of the way. But in Verruckt, you had Dempsey and 3 other Marines, and while they were here, what's it called? They realized that it was too late. Peter McCain was gone. He wasn't here. Most likely, he moved to Shinonuma to continue tests on the Wunderwaffe DG2, because Wunderwaffe was being tested in Shinonuma at about this time, in this time period, same year, 1944. Because the zombie outbreak didn't get passed into the Germans yet. Like, it wasn't affecting them yet. Um, open. Um, But yeah, so while all this was going down, they sent in the 4 Marines in here to extract Peter McCain. But when they were here, they realized that he was gone. And they couldn't do anything. They were running low on ammo, as shown in a radio in Shinonuma. There's a radio in the storage that I will show off in my Shinonuma video. Um, And that voice right there is Samantha. If you guys don't know who Samantha is, she is a huge part of this Nazi zombie storyline. She is basically the person who is being like a fuck you to us. Um, but yeah, the Marines realized they were heavily low on ammo. There was nothing they could do. They couldn't really hold off, and they were getting overrun in this area. They realized what's it called, the dead took the asylum very quickly. They held out for a little bit, but they couldn't hold them off for long. Um, yeah, but like I said, they could not hold out. All of the zombies overran and took the asylum. So then the OSS tried to send a message to Peter, which Peter was in Shinonuma at the time. And there's the radio message in Shinonuma that I will show off again in part 3. Um, but they tried to get a message through to him, but they couldn't because something happened to Peter, which will be realized in the next part. Will be realized? No, will be noted. Holy shit, that was quick. Yeah, but after what they tried sending the message to Peter, every single Marine in here died except for Tank Dempsey. Tank, while they were all dying, what's it called, Richtofen, came here and captured Tank Dempsey for further testing to go on Andorese. And if we want to go way back in time, this is where what's it called, Maxis got Samantha. Maxis isn't her blood father. Um, Maxis found her mother and her in Verruckt, and he decided to take her in. If you come up here, you gotta have your volume really loud, just saying. Hold X. You can slowly hear a mother and daughter crying. And my theory is that it's Samantha's mother and her. And there's a sign on this side of the map, which I'll get to in a minute, that says, it's in German, but if you look it up on Google Translate, it says all unknown children will be sent to the circus. So basically any children that were wandering around Verruckt were sent to the circus. And, but before they could do that, Maxis took in Samantha. And he cares about her like no other. If you completed the Buried Easter egg, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, continuing, then, what's it called? After, like I said, Dempsey gets captured by Richtofen and brought into Doris. Or, what's it called? Yeah, he's brought into Doris. Or Call the Dead, but I highly doubt it's Call the Dead. I'm 100% sure it's Doris. I just pitched in the idea of Call the Dead because that's where the radios are. Which doesn't make sense why they'd be in Call the Dead. But whatever. So after they were captured, Dempsey was one of the only ones to resist, basically. Richtofen mentions him being the strongest willed. He wasn't very bright or very smart, but he was the strongest willed out of all of them in the sense of he was the one trying not to be captured the most. There's actually a radio in Call of the Dead where Dempsey is actually like, "Get off me, you dirty Nazi," and he's just like punching Richtofen and them. But then he gets his ass kicked by all of them. But yeah, the sign is up there where it says all unknown children will be taken to the circus. And Verruckt basically has I've basically gone over everything in Verruckt for most part, except there is a couple things I haven't mentioned, which I might as well mention. It's what happened to Peter while he was here, because he's got quite the story, people. He's quite the survivor. So while Peter was here, at first when he got here, this place was already wrecked, and he was like wondering, like, what the hell happened. Then the zombies started coming. They started to come into Verruckt. When Peter was there, Peter was caught off guard. Peter was actually bitten by a zombie. He was bitten in his hand. That's actually why on the power switch you can see Peter's hand. And if you're just gonna say, well, in every map they have a hand on it. Well, while that may be true, this one was put in first to tell you that it was Peter's hand. I will show proof. Well, I'll show all my clues. But Peter ended up getting trapped here, and he was slightly going insane. He put a lot of writing on the walls from his blood. So there's his hand coming off. The power. And I believe he was bitten in the hand, and he severed his hand with this blade. And there's his flesh on the table. And he wrote stuff on the wall. 1938240 6. I don't really know what that is. 1921 is actually a Bible verse, and it's about the undead taking the streets or something. Something along those lines, you asshole. You know what? You're a fast little fucker. But yeah, he cut off his hand here, and I think he went from this way up to the power, because that's where he got bit. He severed his hand off, and he was trapped, and he wrote all this on the wall. Um, I think Peter was a double spy slash triple spy. He knew stuff about 935 that he didn't tell anyone. And while he was here and while he was about to die, well, he thought he was going to die, he wrote down a lot of stuff. There's the zombie biting his hand. I know you really can't see it, but... Die. But if you look here, there's a zombie biting onto his arm right there. Put haha. And there should be writing that says... Where is it? There it is. Teddy is the biggest liar. Now, if you guys recognize that quote, that is actually the password to the control thing on Moon. Well, it's not Teddy is the biggest liar. It's Teddy is a liar. So Peter knew about the password to Moon. Peter was the only one who knew about what Richtofen was planning to do with all of his test subjects. And he rushed to Shinonuma in hope of telling them and warning them, because Tank Dempsey was a fellow American, and he was going there to warn them of what his plans were. But he got there as soon as Richtofen got there, and stuff didn't go so good, which I'll explain later. Give me that speed cola. But yeah, he was slightly going insane here, which Element 115 makes you slowly go insane, as we could tell from people like Richtofen and other people along those lines. Excuse me. I need a drink. But right here, if you look on the wall, warning. This does say unknown children will be taken to the will be taken to the circus. That's basically all I have to say for Verruckt. Also, if you guys don't know, there is a radio right here. It doesn't really play much. I think it's like music from the campaign. Something along those lines. Which I find pretty cool and pretty interesting. I like it. It's a nice little feature, nice little add to it. That's basically all there is to Verruckt. It was basically the insane asylum. Richtofen worked here. Oh yeah, one quick thing. This is very unexcusable, but 1, 2, 3. And I think that's where Richtofen would work and or torture his patients. Because if you know Richtofen, he always mentions himself being the doctor and the zombies being his patient. I'll have, like, on Kino, he says stuff like, I have no ammo left to treat my patients, which is also hints to him working here in Verruckt. But again, that's basically all I really have to say about this map. It is my favorite map to play, like, in multiplayer. I think it is awesome. I think it is the best zombie map for multiplayer. One quick thing, before I'm just gonna say this now. In this map, in the Black Ops version, you can get the Winter's Howl from the box. In the original version, you can only get the ray gun. But as you saw it pass by, there was a Winter's Howl. Die, bitch. But also right here, this toilet. Push X on it 3 times or square on PS3. So flush it 3 times. And then you hear a badass track from Alina Sigmund. It's known as Lullaby for a Dead Man. I'm sorry, Alina Sigmund and Kevin Sherwood. I think this track is badass. I love this one because it kind of gives you the feel to Verruckt. It might be told in the point of view of the Americans, because it's saying, I know you will never give up and die. And the Americans are trying to hold out their longest here and trying not to die. They're not, they're not going to give up. They're going to keep fighting until they cannot fight anymore. which, America, fuck yeah. But, yeah, there's nothing really different to this map in the Black Ops version, but there is a nice little Easter egg that they added to the Black Ops version of, Shinonuma, but I'll get into that in the next Nazi Zombie storyline video. So, I hope that you guys enjoy this video. This is Austin, and, I am out. Also, go check out Tehzmar, Tehzmar.